Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the final whistle. It's game week. We finally made it. It's all about beating MTSU. I'm Macadale, one of your hosts. This is the final whistle. We got crazy panel. We got the all-star panel. As you see, Chris James, a.k.a. Dan's big brother. Chris, how you doing today?
Man, I can throw a football over the mountains over there, man.
Oh, wow. I heard that. I heard that. So,
Good to be here.
Good to have you. We got Coach Smook. Coach Smook, how you doing
What's
today?
good, everybody? Roll Tide, man. Happy to be here, everybody.
RTR. And final whistle, Dan, our lead recruiting analyst. Dan, what's going on, man?
Roll Tide is game week, guys. It's game week. Let's get it.
Game week. And Mr. Reach Around the Table, Vintage Alabama Gear, Mint Mobile, Mr. Ty Hayes himself. Hayes then confused. Ty Hayes, how you doing today, brother?
Can't ever complain. College football is here, and we get to actually talk about the game. I couldn't be happier.
I know. And we got two of the hardest working men on here. But I'm going to start with Mr. Justin Riley himself. Mr. Riley, how are you doing, brother?
Bama fans, let me talk to you. We are the mega stars of Tide Nation. Whose game is it? With everybody saying the final whistle. Guys, I'm excited. Game week.
And special guest, Mr. TDA himself, Mr. Stephen Smith. Not Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen Smith. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. You gotta live for the pain. You gotta live for it. That was Scott Cochran, not me. I'm doing good.
I love it. So we're gonna get it started. Justin, I'm gonna throw the layup to you, let you
actually the illustrious Ty Hayes is going to be leading the charge tonight. So we might actually get some things accomplished tonight. But I do want to say before we get started, hit that like and subscribe button, chat. Let's get ready tonight. If you're watching the replay, get in the comment section. Let us know what you think. As always, we're brought to you by Workspace Solutions. If your business needs a digital presence or a full-fledged marketing team, hit them up. It's at an affordable rate. And, hey, they keep the lights on for us, and we give a great product. They definitely will as well. Ty Hayes, it's your show. Take it from here.
Well, there's no better place to start. Does college football even really begin before a Nick Saban rant? I contend it doesn't. Some would, but their opinions really doesn't count. And we had our first semi-Saban rant at a press conference, a little bit of attitude about the depth chart. Now, we've had a lot of talk about the depth chart. What do we make about this? Matt, I want to start with you.
I got the depth chart. Coach Saban just sent it to me. He said,
there we go.
Starting quarterback is going to be oatmeal cream pies, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies. That's what he said. But no, I like it. I actually like, it kind of started last year in 2022 when Coach Saban was pissed off talking about the depth chart, saying, this might be the last one you get. So it kind of goes back to last year, but I actually like it. I like anal Coach Saban. I feel like that's kind of what we were missing last year. I like it when he's being strategic. He at the poker table right now. He just holding his cards, playing the game, and not showing a lot. So, me personally, I like it. It just builds so much suspense for Saturday in Alabama Crimson Tide. So, who do you want me to lay it up to? Coach Smook, what are your thoughts, brother?
Oh, man, it's classic Nick Saban, man. Giving the media exactly what they want. A sound bite, something to go off of. Keep them thinking, As much as they hate it, they love it. They know that as long as they have that narrative for to run along with Alabama and Coach Saban, they have something to write. It's going to get attention. So I love it. But it also, like he said in his comments, man, the mentality of the team. Do I want to set the standard? Do I want to send a message first? And I believe he didn't have to send a message first. I think every player that you've seen interviewed, they have the same message. They all showing up to work and compete, regardless of what a piece of paper says, and I think that's what breeds championship caliber teams. When guys show up, regardless of what it says on a piece of paper, they're going to compete.
I want to just interject this, and this was the second press conference in a row where Nick Saban didn't try to go at me. So thankfully, no, that happened again. But the fact that he apologized to the media afterwards, that's what got me. The fact that he said, "I'd like to apologize for not giving y'all a depth chart." I'm looking at Nick like, you don't got to apologize to me, bro. I know what you're doing. Now, the rest of these folks in here, they may not probably get it, but I've been in here, Nick, for a long time. So I understand exactly where you're coming from with this. But the fact that he apologized, smiled, and then two-stepped off the podium, I'm like, look at this mess right here.
He extra tan this season too, man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
he
college football better watch out, man. He done got his hair colored.
He got that vitamin D.
He's got that just for men rocking. He's ready.
For real. Guys, Justin sat there and said that I slipped Nick Saban the just for men. I didn't do that.
Hey, let me tell you, Nick Saban have been in that doggone Crunch Fitness gym room he got in his upstairs at his house, that Crunch Fitness facility. He done been in that mud hitting them weights. That man got his own tanning bed. Nick Saban look like he about 55, 56 again. He got that energy, man. I love the energy around the locker room right now.
Well, speaking of that energy, Chris, what'd you think of all this?
Man, I think that it's a ploy more so to the team because to keep everybody locked in. You get what I'm saying? Because you release a depth chart, you can have some guys be like, oh man, I'm third, or I'm back, I'm not starting. They check out. You know what I'm saying? I've never been big on depth charts. I like for me, like depth charts seem so final, so permanent. So for me, that thing is week to week or game by game. Dude, you're not playing in the game. You're not doing right. I'm going to sub your butt out. I mean, I don't need a depth chart. We're just going to roll with the guys and roll out first and go from there. Just give me 11 out there. Whatever package we're in, whatever package guys we have in that package, let's go, man, because it's like too many people get caught up in the depth chart. Like it's going to be, if he would have released it, would have been, I guarantee you the quarterbacks would have said Jalen Milroe or Ty Simpson or Tyler Buchner or Dylan Lonergan. Then right behind them, Eli Holstein. So, and the same thing. But the thing about it, man, I really truly believe that some positions just aren't settled right now, man. It's like they're battling. Like I believe Roydell's battling with Jace. I believe, even though I believe Jalen will probably take the first snap, but I believe other guys have been playing good, you know. And the same thing with the receivers, man. We have like 9 guys that are really battling for those top, you know, every down 3 spots. You know what I'm saying? And then you think about the O-line, you have Ferguson in a true battle with Dalcourt. And I mean, it's just all over the place, the secondary.
So
it's crazy.
Dan, why do you think people were so offended? I mean, you check Twitter, you check some of these places, and you'd have thought Nick Saban had cussed out every analyst in there, slapped them twice, and sent them on their way with no lunch money for not giving a depth chart. I didn't get the big deal. Talk to me about that. What'd you think?
Yes. The only people that are upset or offended by it are non-Bama fans. You know, us Bama fans, we know what's going on. And it's a good thing because that means we still have competition going on. And that's what we want going into week 2, you know. So, like Chris said, you know, it's going to be a lot of oars when it does come out. It's going to be a lot of oars because there's a lot of competition going on. Go ahead, Matt.
And you know who's going to copy? Kirby Smart. He's going to try to do everything Coach Saban do and be like, oh, I'm not releasing the depth chart. Why? It's just Coach Saban being a trendsetter. Watch it. Now all the other schools going to want to do it. But, you know, I like it. I think Coach Saban's trying not to get burned by the transfer portal and having just crazy distractions from guys maybe not being locked in just by looking at the depth chart. So I like it.
100%.
Guys, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think another reason why there's no depth chart, for the first time in a while, look how crazy deep this team is. Across the board. I mean, look at how crazy deep this team is. Like, I looked at just the secondary by itself. I'm like, holy balls, we got like 30 DBs, right? We got like 30 DBs in here. So the roster is so deep with talent. Saban's like, why a depth chart when I'm just going to play everybody anyway?
Chris,
And right quick, y'all remember, I think it was Cole Kubelik that was at a Bama practice. And originally, before he went to the practice, he had LSU picked to win the West. After he left Bama's practice, he immediately switched his pick to Bama winning the West. So he saw something that we've been trying to tell people since the spring. And I'm telling you, man, that O-line is going to be nasty, y'all.
Justin Riley, the hostess with the mostest. As always, you get the final say. What are you thinking?
I like that. That means it gives finality. It gives some weight to what's being said, right? Or at least in my mind, it does. Yes, Chris, what you said about players looking over their shoulder at each other, I agree. But here's another thing, and Dan, to kind of touch on what you said, the reason why people are getting offended is because we're in an entitled generation where we feel like we're supposed to know everything because all these coaches are naming their starters week after week. So they think that Saban's supposed to follow the same rules. When is the last time that Saban followed any rules but his own? Never, unless it's Miss Terry's rules, right? What I see from this is when it comes to depth charts, it creates chatter. He don't want talk. He don't want talk from the media. And he didn't want talking from his own team. He's saying, we're done talking. There's been enough talking since last year about what we're going to do, how we're going to change this or that. He wants everything to be revealed on the field by actions. Depth chart creates chatter. On the field creates results. Now, I think that's one of his main points that he's trying to convey. It's symbolic. That's my take on it.
You know, this whole offseason, the one thing I thought Nick Saban was asking from the team, be undeniable. If you're undeniable, then you will find your way to playing time. But you know who else Bama fans are hoping is undeniable? Being undeniable isn't just relegated to the players. Being undeniable also shows up in the coaches. And there are two new faces at Alabama that the fans, let's be honest, they're very excited to see. You have Tommy Rees on offense. You have Kevin Steele on defense. We need to talk about what we need to expect from both of these. Game week is here. We've theory crafted this subject before, but the time is now. Smook, I want to hear from you. What are your expectations? Tommy Rees on offense and then Kevin Steele on defense. Talk to me.
All right, so you all know I'm part of the minority that's excited about both of these coordinators being up in the box. I'm part of that minority. The way that college football is evolving, I think that is the best spot for these coordinators and the amount of talent that we have to work with. You have young talent that's ready to play. You have experienced talent. You have veteran guys who are reliable on the field. You have position group coaches who have experience in coaching those positions. They specialize in these positions. It's like it was strategic how they set it up. You know, the boundaries of each set on each area of the offense and defense is covered on field, and you got your coordinators up top doing what they do. And I promise you, this the way this play calling is going to be, we made a lot of points about how deep we are on both sides of the ball. Defensively, I believe Kevin Steele is going to just unleash these guys as far as getting pressure and being physical, because we're going to see a deep rotation. And as much as us traditional football fans not used to seeing a 4-man rotation at inside linebacker, there will be a 4-man inside rotation at the inside linebacker position. You don't keep a guy like Justin Jefferson off the field when you need a Mike linebacker that spy/cover the tight end, like defend the quick lane, the quick read range. So, and then offensively, you got too many running backs. You have two quarterbacks there's two main quarterbacks that I see in this race right now that are really trying to get Coach Saban wants to see in game time. I feel like Ty Simpson is an under the lights player. So the play calling is going to be evenly split offensively, but defensively, I expect a lot of pressure. Middle Tennessee State offensive line, last point, the offensive line struggled against San Diego State tremendously last year. They've gotten younger at the offensive line, and they lost one offensive lineman to the transfer portal. So depending on who they line up at their front five, it might be a long day for them. And I think Kevin Steele is going to allow his guys to, release a lot of built up tension so they won't be as eager for week 2.
They also lost one of their best wide receivers to the transfer portal, as Justin let me know the other day. 3 of the goodness gracious. Steven, talk to me. Goodness gracious, man. That's terrible for them. Great for us. Steven, talk to me. What are your expectations game 1 for Tommy Rees and Kevin Steele? Should Bama fans be as excited as, quite frankly, I am for both of them to be the play callers?
Well, Ty and guys, I'm gonna say this. I was at the media day for both coordinators. I was there, and Kevin Steele walks in the room, and I counted him say 6 times, "The talent's here. It's always been here," and that let me know what we all knew. Pete Golding had no idea what he was doing. So Kevin Steele is in here, not just simplifying things and baptizing this entire defense, but this defensive line, we may not have the main personality yet, but Tim Keenan has grown. Jamarian Latham has grown. A lot of these guys have grown. So as we go through the season, first off, game 1, keep your eyes on that defensive line. They tired of hearing, well, y'all don't got no Payne, no Allen, no Reed, no Q Williams, no this.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are sick of that. They ready to get after it. Now, offensively, what I like about Tommy Rees is he's not going to do what Bill O'Brien did, which was let Bryce Young bail you out. No, he has an offense that's going to be built around Jalen Milroe or whoever the quarterback is. What do you do well? What you like, what you don't like. Let's look at this. Let's run this. Let's run that. But I think it's more than the Tommy Rees tie. It's a combination of Tommy Rees and Eric Wolford. What Wolford has done with this O-line, he's recruited grown men. He's developing grown men. And these grown men are eating nothing but cornbread, protein powder, and collard greens. They hitting folks.
And beef jerky.
They putting folks in the dirt. So I look at the combination of Tommy Rees and Eric Wolford, that real balance that Saban's been crying for the last 2 years, that's coming back.
And Stephen, to your point, Wolford was a guy that was beating Bama for recruits when he was at Kentucky. Now that same guy recruits with the Bama brand behind him, a brand that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, 24/7 Sports just tabbed as the #1 most recognizable brand in all of college football. Just thought I'd slide that in there. Chris, we've heard from the man to your left. We've heard from the man to your right. Why not stop with you? What are you expecting from Tommy Rees and Kevin Steele?
Well, first off, I expect our offense to go back to those 2009 to 2011 days, 2012 days, because you got to think about how big our O-line is, man. Those guys are huge, man. Those are huge human beings, and it takes for you to really, for someone to truly understand it. It takes for them being down on the field and actually seeing those guys like in person, how big, a guy like Caden Proctor is, how big a guy like J.C. Latham is, and Booker, Tyler Booker. Man, we have some dudes, man, up front. And yes, the O-line, D-line. But I expect us to be physical, a lot of play action. I expect Nye Black, the guys like Nye Black, C.J. Dupree, guys like that to really eat in this offense. Because like when he was at Notre Dame, those tight ends were eating, man. And you think about it, he was pretty good at Notre Dame, man, and he didn't have half the talent that he has at his disposal at Bama. He didn't he had some good backs, but like I said, man, I expect us to really thrive off of play action, smash mouth, taking shots deep with Bun, Benson, fast guys, taking the top off the defense with Burton, guys like that. So I expect it to be probably 60-40 run pass ratio. Of something like of that sort. Defensively, I can't help but to keep thinking about those Kevin Steele defenses of his early Bama years and those defensive lines, those fronts he had when he was at Auburn, man. I was really envious when he was a DC at Auburn and they had Derrick Brown and Marlon Davidson.
Yes.
That was crazy, man. Those were some crazy talented defenses. So physicality, and just relentlessness, just being relentless. Those are the two words that come to my mind when I think about both sides of the ball in on offense and defense. And I believe those boys have been getting at it, man, and they're ready to turn and loose on somebody. So I just expect to see, old Bama, old vintage Bama football up front on both sides of the ball, and as a whole, as a unit. We gotta make people fear us again.
Hey, quick curveball for the panel. You just were alluding to it, Chris. personnel wise, when Kevin Steele was at his best, he always had elite talent interior, right? You look at the interior on the first and second level, on the defensive level for the panel. Do you feel like we have that type of talent to be able to allow Kevin Steele to just go to, you know, put his stamp on? You get what I'm saying?
Without a doubt, dude. Look, man, you got guys like Payne. He'll be starting anywhere else pretty much in the country. Latham would have been playing a long time ago. Oatis, he probably is the most slept on defensive tackle in the country, man. Like people really don't understand what's in store.
And not to mention, once Big James Smith click, dear God.
Well, not only James Smith, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking Edric Hill. We're talking Renard. I mean, there were some names in this other one. Give them time.
Jordan Renard.
The difference, and I say this all the time, and then Matt, I got to pass it to you. The difference for the offensive line and defensive line in size, speed, strength, technique required to succeed at the college level as opposed to the high school level is astronomical. I've always said Caden Proctor could have had highlights blocking me. I can assure you he will not be blocking me in college, right? He will be blocking a former 4-star, former 5-star, and that's a transition period. Let the guys cook, but Smook, to your point, I think the talent is there. Now, Matt, are we going to see any surprises from both sides of the ball? What are you expecting from Tommy Rees? And then same question on the defensive side of the ball with Kevin Steele.
I don't think we're going to see surprises week one. I just think we're just going to kind of be vanilla, get guys in, rotate. We might see a couple quarterbacks play. But for me, I just think, the reason Coach Saban is looking younger and then look like he's been on the Nugenics commercial and all this stuff is that he's got everybody spoken to. He's got Tommy Rees and Kevin Steele. Their scheme is how he wants to play football. They want to be physical up front. Like we're talking about our defensive line. Coach Smook said, do we have the players? We have the players. It's just we had Pete Golden's raggedy defensive scheme that didn't let our D-line cook, let them do what's best for them. So we were hindered. So I think for the reason Coach Saban's looking happy and looking 25 years young because he's got his coordinators and he's ready to just go out there and be dominant. Like Chris said, we're going back to an old school Bama brand of football where we're going to pound you out, be physical. But as far as surprises, I think the biggest surprise will just be the amount of talent that we have and the amount of talent that we might not show everything versus Middle Tennessee State. I think you're really going to kind of see everything, versus Texas, just kind of preparing for them. So, I'm excited. I can't wait to see these guys ready to roll because, you just listen to the press conferences from last year to this year from players. I mean, whether it's Kool-Aid, the guys have a different mentality, different psyche. They're like, listen, we're locked in. We're ready to go out there and create our identity, show everybody who we are. So, I'm excited. I can't wait to see these guys go out there and ball out and bring back that Alabama standard.
Absolutely. Steven, what you got?
I think the one surprise that I want to see or I could see, if Alabama goes down, who are all 6 DBs?
Ooh, good one.
Because obviously one corner is Kool-Aid, but it could literally look like this. And call me crazy if it does, but I think it could look like this. Your corners could end up being Kool-Aid and Trey Amos. Your star could be Terrion Arnold. Your money could be Malachi Moore.
That's what Chris said.
Key.
Your money could be Malachi Moore. One of your safeties is Caleb Downs.
And then Key.
And then Key. Jalen Key's the safety.
I heard we got so many multiple packages. I heard we got a package with that secondary, but they got Downs in as a linebacker, which blows my mind.
Ooh.
I heard some crazy stuff, but I don't think we're gonna show it till later in the season. But
we're not gonna show it.
Steve, we're multiple. We got talent everywhere.
I mean, we're not gonna show it early, Matt. You're right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I've been talking to like so many people, like folks, boosters, like at this stuff, and they're like, man, this secondary is so diverse. You don't know who is going to be on the field at what given time. It's crazy how diverse that DB room is.
The amount of man cover specialists that we have lining up at corner with the size that these guys bring, we got corners 6'6", 6'1", 6'2" out there lining up and just, 185 to 205, guys are out there beefing up. Jalen Key over top and Caleb Downs with that physicality, Smitty over top, Malachi Moore over top. That's going to be hard to deal with. If we keep Malachi in positions where he is able to react and not chase stuff down, like play behind the plate, this is going to be a nasty secondary. We know how flexible Malachi can be when he's healthy, man. It's going to be scary for defenses.
People don't understand just how good Trey Amos is. I'm going to leave it at that.
100%.
That dude would have been a day 2 pick if he would have came out this past.
Yep.
Think about that.
I'm going to say this. This speaks huge also to the versatility of Terrion Arnold. People don't realize Terrion never played corner before last year. He was a safety. He comes in, plays corner last year, has some growing pains. Quandarrius Robinson does a great job with him. And not only is he playing corner, the man's playing star. So Saban's like, well, heck, if you're going to let me get all my ball hawks on the field, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get all of my ball hawks on the field. Everybody's playing multiple positions. Even Tony Mitchell is being coached multiple spots right now.
That's what you love to see. And hopefully Amos can go from a day 2 pick to a day 1 pick of the year at Bama. Now, Dan, same question to you, man. What are you thinking we're going to see from Rees and ultimately from Kevin Steele?
Yeah. The first thing I like to see and expect to see from Tommy Rees is a ball control offense. That's what I would love for us to get back to. I think we'll do it. Stay ahead of the chains and be, efficient on third downs. I don't want to see any more playground football. That's what we had. Mm-hmm. It seemed like, especially last year, it was terrible. On the defensive side of the ball, I want to see the intensity come back. The aggressive defense. I want to see the intensity. Everybody flying to the ball. On third down, let's get off the field, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to see us get off the field on third down.
Yeah. Well, Justin, before I pass it to you, there is one thing I would like to add. I'll only take a minute because I had people talk about this on my show, and people were asking me, am I mad that Nick Saban is saying they're going to go more old school? Justin, I'll let you take this right here, and then I'll jump right back into it.
Hey, real quick, Willie Cottonham with $1.99 super chat. We will win the national championship this year. We appreciate that.
I'll take everything. Alex.
That's the type of can-do attitude we need on the team right there. That's exactly what we need. But I've had people come to me and say, Ty, what do you think about Nick Saban saying we're going to go more old school? Isn't that exactly what Bama was trying to get away from, modernize the offense? And I think what has been lost in all of this is context and nuance. Nick Saban is saying we're going to go more old school coming off of a season where Bryce Young was literally cosplaying as Harry Houdini week in and week out, trying to save this offense, trying to put some semblance of something together. Those statements are coming after that season. What he's saying is we don't have Bryce anymore. It's not conducive to success to call an offense and roll the dice and hope that your superstar quarterback bails you out time and time again. We need to be balanced. I don't know how that got translated into saying we're going to run a 1965 offense that's never going to pass. But if you checked social media, that's exactly what Saban said. And I have to ask myself, guys, where has context and nuance gone? That's very important to this. Justin, I pass it to you.
Yeah, we're going to go old school. We're going to win the wristbone with all 3 quarterbacks. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to see that. Before I get to rambling, gotta give a shout out to David Agri, $1.99 super chat. Any idea will they still have colorful mouthpieces? I tell you what, Bo Scarborough could get into that. He's not a fan of that. All right, my biggest thing as far as these coordinators, there is going to be a surprise, and on both sides of the ball. And what I mean is, and I talked about this in the last show, the surprise is you're going to have players being the true versions of themselves. Bill O'Brien tried to get Jalen Milroe to be Bryce Young. Pete Golden tried to get Will Anderson to drop back in coverage.
What?
Yeah, that right there. And the thing is, you had these coaches trying to get these players to be a version of themselves that they created. And when you do that, like I said before in the previous show, you lose the true essence of who you are. You're lost. You're making mistakes. Anxiety happens because you can't be who you are. You're going to see players free to be who they really are. That's why you hear in their voice this change, this accountability, this self-policing. That's why these coordinators are going to be in the booth, because they know, okay, these guys got it. We're just going to sit back up here and watch the show. We've already taught them what they need to be, and they're about to take the field, and hell's coming with them. That's what I see. That's my surprise. And I think Tommy Rees isn't going to play it safe in this game. I'm going to call it right now. First place from scrimmage, Jalen Milroe over the top to Manuel Henderson, touchdown.
Ooh,
Love it.
Do y'all remember how we broke the ice with Blake Sims game 1? Do y'all remember how we broke the ice? That man, I think it was like 3 or 4 play action rollout passes where he rolled out to the seam and just let it rip, was letting it go over top. And I see the similar type of energy being established early. Shout out to Ty Alexander, 4 for 4 meal for the homie Steven. Roll Tide, guys. Appreciate the super chat, Ty Alexander.
I appreciate that meal, boy.
But on some real stuff,
man cannot live on bread alone. Thank you, brother.
Man, on some real stuff. This is the thing when it comes to this offensive play calling. Justin, I'm right along with you. I don't think we waste time trying to figure out, be vanilla. I think we throw those 2 quarterbacks or 3. I don't see 3. I say 2, the top 2. I think we give them the playbook. We give them a script. And whoever's the most efficient is going to start week 2. This is honestly an opportunity for, like you said, guys to play free, man. And I think the same is for the defensive coordinators. Let's establish a tone from week 1. Let's not wait till week 3, week 4, week 5, like we've had through the past 3 years. Let's start it off week 1.
Steven, I want to go to you, and then I have a question for the panel I want to hear quickly from y'all.
I just go back to, guys, SEC Media Days in Nashville. That was a crazy drive for me up there. The rain was awful. The road work was awful. But to get inside that hotel and to hear all 3 guys, J.C. Latham, Kool-Aid, and Dallas Turner, J.C. Latham in particular, this guy sounded like he was about to go full-on Samuel Jackson. Like, he had some quotes that I'm like, whoa. Like, J.C. Latham bleeds this. Like, you could hear in his voice, like, we are getting back there. Like, Georgia ain't no standard. We getting back there. You could hear it in Dallas Turner, like, Kevin Steele, it's us run this. We run this defense. We run this over here. Kool-Aid McKinstry, kind of the same thing. When I left Nashville that Wednesday, I'm going, man, this team is ticked all the way off. And they've carried that from July throughout the entire fall camp to where I don't even know what's going to be worse for the opponent, the Heat or a ticked off Bama team, or both.
So, listening to y'all, 2 questions come to mind. The first one I think we can answer very quick. So I'll answer the first and then we'll get back to the second. First and foremost, Justin, you talk about accountability. This is a big year for a lot of people. Let's talk some make it or break it. I'll go ahead and give you mine in terms of players I think that we need to watch for a big year and guys who really need a big year. My number 1 is Caleb Downs. I don't think a whole lot of explanation needs to be said about this. He comes in as a true freshman and is lighting it on fire. He is going to be a household name. I'll tell you who needs a big year, though, guys. Dalcourt is a experienced guy on the offensive line, a veteran presence, but at the same time, this is the year, right? Terrence Ferguson's breathing down his neck, and that's a talented cat behind him as well. This offensive line that, Wolford is recruiting, there's a lot of hungry guys, and they want to eat. This is the year for Dalcourt, so that's my 2. Dan, I'm going to pass it to you.
I got to unmute myself. Definitely, I'm gonna go offense and defense. The big year, y'all. I think I've said it before, but it's easy to go with Jace McClellan. I expect a big year out of him, but Jam Miller, I'm looking for a huge year out of him. Mm-hmm. We're gonna play lots of backs, but I expect him to make a lot of explosive plays. Guys that I think that's on the clock, I'm looking at guys like Roydale Williams. This is it for him. You know, this make it or break it year for him. Like you said, dog court. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm gonna say Smoot because Smoot said he was gonna get the guy, so I'm not gonna mention his name. But on the defensive side of the ball, I'm looking for Christian Story. You know, it's make or break year for him. But as far as a big year, I got to go with Deontay Lawson. I expect him to have a huge, tremendous season. Just
love both of them. Smoot, he basically gave you the alley-oop. Now I want to see your Blake Griffin impersonation. What you got?
I'm not sure which one he's talking about because we had 3 that we said we was talking about. But my breakout star on the defensive side, I think it's going to be Terrion Arnold. I think Terrion Arnold is going to be like everybody's so worried about Kool-Aid. I agree with Chris. Trey is that dude, but I feel like it's going to be hard to bring Malachi down to that star when you talking about playing against pass-heavy teams. When you got Trey Amos and Terrion Arnold that you could flex to that slot, cover that slot. You get what I'm saying? You could literally have those guys lock down their sides of the field. And so I see Terrion Arnold breaking out. Make it or break it on the defensive side, Kendrick Blackshire.
Boom.
I gotta get you on the field. You gotta get on the field. You gotta make an impact on special teams. And when you get those reps where you're replacing those edge guys because what I've been hearing is he's working inside and outside. He's the third guy up on both sides. So my thing is, where are you gonna make your impact, man?
Right. That means we're trying to get you on.
And he gotta go get it, like especially on the special teams. Offensively, breakout season. I told y'all I've been giving this dude crap since he showed up. Jermaine Burton breaks out this year, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you why, because it won't be.
Hold on.
Wait a second.
You can't just fly past that like you didn't just say that. Hold on.
Hey, I'm in.
Unpack. Give me an extra 30 seconds, if everyone pleases, for Smook to unpack this one.
Let's get this super chat so we can digest it real quick. Willie Cottonham, $1.99. Our defense is back and loaded.
100%.
Please explain yourself, sir, because you've been anti Jermaine for a long time. You were marching down the street, crossing county lines, full blast on all forms of social media.
I helped that man pack and everything.
I just want to know what in the world happened and how much did he pay you?
Let me tell you. First of all, the boy got the NIL deals. If y'all haven't noticed, my boy, he locked in this year for real. I seen the Alabama when they was doing the fight song with the team, and a lot of people look at Jermaine Burton and was like he wanted to participate, but Jermaine Burton was literally over there like that same look he came to that press interview with, man. It was something different about Burton, man. And we always known that Jermaine Burton had the technique, he had the release, he had the route. It's just he never showed up in those moments where he needed to make the big plays. And towards the end of last season, he started to trend up. As much as I didn't want to admit it, he started to trend up. The Kansas State game showed me a lot. Those first 2 or 3, I think it was 2 or 3 miscommunications by him and Bryce. That's a product of being in an offensive system where the wide receivers are put to Bryce calls out of protection.
He was on the opposite side too.
Yes. And then also I think Jermaine Burton is more effective at the slot too. So I see him being with Malik Benson and Ja'Cory Brooks. I see Jermaine Burton and Isaiah Bonds being really effective. And Jermaine Burton's, because of his lack last year, this season that he produces this year, and I'm talking about maybe 700 yards receiving, 5 or 6, 7 touchdown catches. I'm talking about maybe 45, 50 catches in this offense with Jalen Milroe leading it, averaging maybe 20 to 23 passes a game, 24 passes a game on a good game, a healthy, balanced game. I think Jermaine Burton can really break out this year, and somebody that needs to step up on the offensive side before I go, it's going to be in the wide receiver room. I got to see Kobe Prentice be more consistent this year. I got to see Kobe Prentice be, when he has his opportunities, I don't think we rely on the wide receiver group that much, but I don't think there's much room for him to have those drops. Him and Isaiah Bonds, I don't think there's much room to have those drops with guys like Shaz Preston ready to get out there. And we've seen his work with those hands and Emmanuel Henderson.
Very true. That wide receiver room is competitive. Now, Chris, same thing to you, man. Who do the people need to watch to break out, and who really needs a big year?
All right. Which side of the ball you guys want me to start on?
Defense.
Which side tickles your fancy?
Well, I'm on both. I'm an offensive guy by heart, but I'm just joking.
fancy.
But I'll start with the defensive side. my breakout player, man, it starts up front, man. The tone setter for this defense, who's going to be the Quentin Williams, the Run Payne, is going to be Jaheim Oatis. He's going to be that guy. Jaheim Oatis. Remember that. First team all SEC. He's going to be a consensus All-American. I said it here. All right. The guy that's make it or break it. Oh, man.
Before you get into that, we have a super chat we need to get to. Justin, I'm going to pass it to you for this one. A $5 super chat.
David, I agree. About Black Shower transfer after this year. Too much talent ahead of him. Ja'Cory Brooks, make it or break it.
I want him to comment in the chat. What makes you think Ja'Cory Brooks has a make it? I think Ja'Cory Brooks has been Ja'Cory Brooks since he's been at Bama. I don't think he's been subpar. He's had some drops, but he's had more big plays and more big catches than he's had big drops. So
Chris got that look in his eye, and I got to hear what he's got to say. Well, what you got, man? You got that look in your eye.
I'm coming back to that. Smoot. All right. My make it or break it defensive guy is Quandarrius Robinson. This is dude. You know what I'm saying? Like coming out, man. We were just Dan and I some years ago. We were just so sure that he was just gonna be that guy, and then they just started signing 5 stars after 5 star. So that's the guy on defense. On offense, the guy I'm not actually going with a player. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm going with a position group, the tight end room. If you can remember what they did with Micah Mayer and Notre Dame, those tight ends, man. I'm going with not Black and Dupree, man, and Danny Lewis. Those 3 guys are gonna be in for huge seasons as a group. And I would go even as far as saying the tight end room will get 1,000 yards receiving this year.
That's a bold statement. But I'll tell you what else is bold is us not talking about Micah's comment right here. Thank you for the
What's up,
Micah? He says, sure hands on offense and sure tackles on defense and keep penalties under 60 yards and we win the ship. Once again, that's the type of can-do attitude we need. Speaking of a can-do attitude, Steven, I need to hear your breakout player. I need to hear your make it or break it player.
All right, so I got 2 on offense and 2 on defense. So the breakout player offensively, and I'm gonna go against the grain here. Y'all know I'm kind of a big man, a small man's body, so I'm gonna go with the offensive line. Breakout player this year is gonna be Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor is gonna show you something as a freshman. He's gonna show you quite a bit as a freshman on the offensive line. My make it or break it player. Oh my goodness! I mean, I know you love him, Smoke, but I'm making a break it. Come on, Jermaine Burton. We can't have no drops this year. Make it a break it is Burton. We can't have no drops, Burton.
Hey, I ain't say I love him now. Don't do that, Steven. Don't be misquoting now. You know better than that.
I know better than that, man. And we can't have no drops, Burton. So make it a break it for Burton here. Defensively, my breakout player is Malachi Moore. He gonna have it this year. He had his freshman year. Went through some injuries. He built like a linebacker now. I think Malachi's going to have the breakout year. The make it or break it year, Tim Smith, your big Buchner. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
Came in as a 5-star from Florida, boy. Come on, Timmy. Get your butt on the bus now.
Speaking of 5-star, I got to hear from the panel's very own 5-star, Matt Caddell.
I wasn't a 5-star. I was like a 4-star. But
you're a 5-star in my heart.
Yeah, but that mustache you had was definitely 5-star.
You had a 5-star edge up too, boy. That boy was cleaning them up. Look at him. Look at him.
Oh man. So yeah. Golly. So y'all kind of took all of it. I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna be a little controversial. I'm gonna say, it's his time. I'm going to go with Milroe. I'm like, Milroe, this is your time right now. Like, the time is now. You got the OC. You got the players. You got the scheme. Like, this is your time. Like, don't put it in Ty Simpson's hands. Don't put it in Lonergan's hands. Go out there and be that guy. My breakout year is the same guy, Jalen Milroe. I think Milroe can go out there and be that guy, and, I say, another guy, I got to say Jermaine Burton. I think Burton, I want him to, this is his money year. This is for a lot of these guys, this is their money year. You're thinking about going to the NFL. You want scouts to look at you. This is your year to get paid. Like, go out there and ball out. So You know, for me, I want Milroe to be successful, man. I really hope he takes, you know, ownership of this QB race and, you know, just solidifies himself. I hope he's looking at Anthony Richardson and like, I'm way better than that guy. And so I hope he goes out there and ball out. Now, defensively, I gotta go with my guy. He's making a break. I gotta go with Malachi Moore, man. So much talent on the defensive end. Like, for him to have that drop off from his freshman year, like, you know, we need you to be that guy. Like, you got Amos, you got Kool-Aid, you got Earl Little, you got so much talent around you. This is your time. This is a money year for you. And my breakout year defensively, I just think I'm going to take the easy bait. I'm going to go with Dallas Turner. I need him to at least get 15 plus sacks. I need him to solidify himself as, you know, I'm the number one edge rusher coming off the draft board this year. So that's kind of my 2 cents with the guys. But yeah.
Yeah, love it. Chris, 30 seconds, and then we got to get to Justin.
I never got a chance to say my make it or break it year for my offensive guy, Ja'Cory Brooks. And I'm going to tell you why, Smoot. Because we've been waiting for Brooks to be that guy, to be that 1,000-yard guy to take over ever since he made that big that touchdown catch against Auburn. We just knew that from there he was going to be that guy from that point on. But it's time to take the next step, dude, because you have guys like Malik Benson and Hale, Jalen Hale, and those other guys that are right nipping Shaz Preston. They're ready. They're ready. They're nipping at that bud, so it's making a break it for them.
Speaking of ready, Justin, make it or break it year. What you got for me?
I'm going to keep it short, and then we got to get to this fan question here. Let me break my breakout star. I'm going to go a little bit of a different direction because one of you named him as a make it or break it. I'm going to go with Roydell Williams. I think he's going to be a breakout guy because he has an offensive coordinator who finally knows how to utilize him. He's going to be healthy. And honestly, guys, once he gets going, he's going to remind a lot of Alabama fans of Eddie Lacy. Just going to throw that out there. As far as the defensive side of the ball, breakout year, Quandarrius Robinson. Again, he's got a coach that knows how to use him. And I feel like that he has been building this enormous chip on his shoulder since everybody in Alabama Nation gave up on him last year because of that mistake he made against Tennessee. I feel like he's going to come in with an edge, and he's going to make some guys ahead of him sit down. As far as make it or break it, Darian Dalcourt, to be honest with you, I don't even think you should be given an opportunity. You've been there long enough to show us something, and I'm sorry, you basically got 30 seconds essentially to show me something in this first game. If you ain't it, go sit down. Go start working on your fantasy football team. Defensive side of the ball, Chris Braswell, he came in rated higher than Will Anderson, but he has not shown that since. Yes, there's been brief flashes where we've seen some kind of hint of awesome. It's just not consistent enough. I need something more than an occasional tackle for a loss or a sack every 4th or 5th game. It's time for you to be that dude. Be the Himothy.
And don't wear them high top Timberland boot Nike cleats.
100%.
We got a quick question, guys. Keep it short. As far as your answer from Salah Diallo, question for the panel. Who is the better DB between Brian Branch and Xavier McKinney?
I want to hear Chris' voice.
We'll start out with Ty, then we go to Dan, Smoot, Chris, Stephen M., and Matt can be last.
Brian Branch. That's it.
Dan.
And all respect to McKinney is a beast, but Brian Branch, man, was different in terms of what he's able to do, the depth of what he's able to do, and the versatility. I mean, there's a reason why he went to the NFL, and they're scrambling, trying to figure out a way to put him on the field.
Simple. I agree. Ditto. Brian Branch, versatility alone.
Dang, Brian Branch. Brian Branch can line up outside, star, free safety, and be just as effective. He might not be a lockdown corner, but he can be effective. So yeah. Brian Branch.
Don't get it twisted. Xavier McKinney could have played corner too.
He could have, but he's not better than Brian Branch.
He's probably the most underrated defensive back in the Saban era as far as what he could have brought to the table. He could have started in any of Saban's defenses. He was that good. But with that being said, Brian Branch is the closest thing to Minka that we've seen in Crimson.
Yes.
Completely agree, Chris. Steven?
This hurts me because I cover both of them. I love X, but BB a different monster. BB a whole different monster.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah, I'm going. Shouts out to Xavier McKinney. He was named the captain for the New York Football Giants out there today. As talented as he is, man, I'm still going Brian Branch. His versatility, play the slot, nickel star, safety corner. I mean, ball skills alone. I mean, he's just unreal. So I'm going Brian Branch.
And then BB could hit home on a blitz consistently.
Oh, sack. He does it all.
And don't forget, BB could have been a D1 receiver.
Easily.
That's what he played at Sandy Creek. He was a 1,000-yard receiver.
Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Justin.
I got a lot of respect for Xavier McKinney because, like it was previously mentioned, we didn't get to see how good he could have been because he was so busy having to make up for others' mistakes while he was there, especially his final year. And I think you're starting to see how good he is with the New York Football Giants. But Brian Branch all day. Real quick, Willie Cottonham, another $1.99 super chat. Don't sleep on Kobe Prentice.
Willie tried to feed me and my family. All right, Willie. I appreciate that.
The man of the hour.
Now.
Yeah. You had a drink with it.
You supersize, Steve.
Look, speaking of this quality depth we hope to see, I think it's about that time where we talk about the game that we're going to be seeing this week. And what better person to lead it off than the person who's been closing us out every single time? I didn't want to give you that the whole time. The hostess with the mostest, Justin Riley. Lead us off.
Man, first of all, guys, it's Christmas time for us. Absolutely. Game week. We're going to have several game weeks, and it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving. I'm so excited as far as what we're going to see from Coach Saban, Tommy Rees, and Kevin Steele. When I see that quarterback trot out there to be QB1 in this game, Jalen Milroe, he's definitely earned it. And, yes, it may be an audition in a lot of people's eyes, but it's his to lose right now. And I honestly don't feel like he's going to turn that over. We're going to see a lot of good looks and opportunities for Ty and even Dylan Lonergan. Honestly, I feel like we're going to see him in this game. The offensive line is really going to be the star of the show. You're going to see a tremendous growth from them and what Eric Wolford has been doing. The level of nasty we're going to witness is going to be just incomparable. Words just can't describe. And it does bode well for us because that's where Middle Tennessee State is strong up front. Zaylen Wood and Marley Cook, they're that dudes. They are known for getting to the quarterback. They are known for shutting down running backs. But the problem is they're not going to be allowed to do that. And the even bigger problem is that secondary was giving up nearly 300 yards a game last year. And we got some receivers that are hungry. They're going to expose that. Now, they do have a guy out there, Trey Fluellen, led the team in tackles last year, 104 yards, 2 picks, 8 PBUs. He's good, but he can't be everywhere. Receiver's going to eat, guys. As far as our defense, they're going to pin their ears back. And the problem, again, for Middle Tennessee State, Ty, you've already said it. They lost their top 3 wide receivers. One went to Virginia Tech. They have 2 guys with experience in DJ England Chisholm and Elijah Metcalf. But, man, this secondary is ready to remind Bama fans we are DBU, and we have those guys. And I honestly feel sorry for quarterback Nicholas forgive me, I'm from Mississippi. Badiato. Nice, strong Italian guy. The problem is it's not going to be strong enough to handle the hell that's about to be unleashed. And he had a good freshman showing, but he lost his starting job last year to Chase Cunningham. He's coming back for another opportunity. You don't want to cut your teeth against this Bama defense, but Alabama's going to win 40-6 in this game, setting up a huge game against Texas.
Love it. Dan, we got 5 minutes left. Boys, we need to take it on home. What do you think this game's going to look like, Dan? Alabama, MTSU. What's your prediction?
All right. First, I got a little wire in. It's a quite shocking surprise. First play, Eli Holstein's going to trot out on the field. They're going to line them up out wide. They're going to take a direct snap to Jason McClellan. They're going to
drug test on this show?
and try Jalen Milroe out. But to keep it short, man, look here. We're going to send a message week 1. This is the first opening home game, and God knows when. Man, look at here. The place is going to be rocking. People dying for football. It's revenge season. Bama 56-7.
Love it.
Unapologetically.
Smook, talk to me.
Man, I'm gonna go with it like this. Jalen Milroe is gonna try out a start. Any sign of struggle of offensive production not being on schedule, 3 drives in, we see Ty Simpson. And I honestly believe Ty Simpson gets in, he doesn't turn it back over to Jalen Milroe in a game like this. A game where, like you said, the defensive side, they return a couple of guys on that perimeter, but are they going to be able to sit out there and keep guys in coverage as we run the ball like Tommy Rees plans to? So they're going to have to walk guys inside the box, and that's going to create opportunities. And for a guy like Simpson, the arm talent is what separates him from Jalen Milroe. Yes, he makes mistakes, but that's in practice. When you've been playing against guys for the past, 6 months or so, every day running the same style scheme offense, they get used to seeing it. So it's a different thing when them lights come on. So I got Jalen Milroe starting. I think Jalen Milroe takes it away, but we do see Ty Simpson score. I'm giving Alabama 50. I'm gonna go 59. Middle Tennessee 6. I think Middle Tennessee scores a early field goal because they get a big play first half across the 50, and then second half they get a garbage time field goal. So
hate garbage time field goals, Chris.
I hate garbage time talking because it means in my brain.
You better shut the hell up, boy. All that talking you was doing earlier, you better get the hell on.
Smoking my brain.
Get the hell on.
Talk to me. What are you thinking?
Hey, smoking my brain, man. Hey, I think we go back to 99, and you're gonna see a vintage Michael Vick out there. Milroe take houses one early with his legs. And I'm going, and it's gonna get rolling, man. It's gonna get ugly. I'm going Bama 59-3.
Love it.
They won't score a touchdown. Smoke!
Steven,
think alike, man.
I need the good news, man. Everybody's been feeding it to me. I needed to continue. What are you thinking?
I'm going this defense getting the shutout.
Oh.
This defense gets it done. This defense has been tired of hearing you soft, you ain't physical no more, you ain't Bama no more. Kevin Steele's going to get into that defense in that locker room. They going to give Kevin Steele a shutout his first game back, 48-0.
Oh, and the birthday boy, James Knox.
Happy birthday, James.
No garbage time. No garbage time, Bama. 61-0.
A man that gets it. A man that gets it. Matt, what are you thinking for this game? Joyless murder ball? Do we finally get to see it back?
Yeah, I think it's going to be joyless murder ball. I got Bama 49-7. I got Bama, the quarterback that's coming out. Chris kind of stole my thunder, but it won't be Michael Vick 99. It's going to be Michael Vick when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. That Monday night game, hitting Deshaun Jackson over the top.
Yeah.
We're going to move the pocket, first play, roll out. He's going to either hit Prentice or Bond, somebody over the top deep.
I think it's Benson, baby.
Emmanuel Henderson.
He going to roll out. And he going to just gun it. First play, he going deep.
What was that?
If you go back to the spring game, go back to the spring game real quick. First play Milroe had, he tried to go deep, and the receivers were kind of off. So I got Bama 49-7. Roll Tide roll. I'm rolling with that.
Chris is over there like Hercules.
I'm excited.
Hey, he said Malik Benson. Well, I got all moist.
Cunningham.
Well, it's after 9 p.m., so we can't talk like that.
I'll lead us into the OnlyFans.
Delete that part out of the show.
We're not there yet.
I already clipped it.
We got the 199. Thank you, Willie. He says 59-0. Ad Steven, he's just buying your whole meal, man.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, bro.
This is turned into a.
In the background.
Look, man. I'm trying to get this new church plaque, man. He helped out the new church plaque.
Hey, you might want to mute because this next thing, this isn't going to buy you a church plaque. This is how the rest of us pay our bills, where you can find us outside of here. And I'll go ahead and start because I've been your sinful guide through the evening. You can find me at Around the Table Sports during the day, but at night you can find me at Reach Around the Table Sports on OnlyFans Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Would love to see you over there. We got some killer deals running right now. Final Whistle Dan, talk to me. Where can the people find you?
Hey, man, you can find me on Twitter when you're looking real hard. You know what I'm saying? But every week, every Tuesday night is right here. And also, you can catch my OnlyFans. Wet My Whistle Dan.
That'll do it for me, guys. I can't top that.
Hey, hold on.
Hey, y'all can find your boy Coach Smook at Coach Smook on every platform. And that's every platform at Coach Smook. You type in Coach Smook, you're gonna find me. And this week on the Film Room After Dark, we got our special premiering this week. We're gonna be pulling off the doggone the dig and reach. We're gonna be digging and reaching. And I don't want nobody coming in there second guessing any blast, okay? We're gonna run the full, we're gonna run the 22 blast all night. All right. So we got the 22 blast special this week, every night on the OnlyFans. Y'all come check your boy out, Mr. 30 Inches himself. Let's go.
Pop right.
Oh, Chris. I'm not. I don't know that I'm ready, but go ahead, talk to me.
I feel like I just got to stand up, put my leg on the table like this.
Oh boy,
like lean in. You got to do the lean in.
Pause.
Go ahead, Uncle Rico.
Man.
Hey, man, you can find me on Facebook at Chris K. James Sr., on Twitter at Coach, on X or whatever you want to call it, Coach Chris James, and on Instagram at CKJ Senior. 32. What's up, man? That's right, Chris James, right? But my OnlyFans name for the night is wide receiver, inspired. Catch the balls, 32.
Pause.
Catch the ball.
Yep.
Don't you just love it when the OnlyFans names have meaning? It's just it's coming to be.
All
Steven,
right.
talk to us, man.
Catch the ball.
Well, I can find when I'm not trying to keep Nick Saban in check. You can find me on Twitter at Coach and M Smith on Twitter. For the first time, we'll be releasing the OnlyFans. This has been brought to you by Boats. You can find me at Scuba Steve 69.
He is official like the Wilson.
He threw us with a curveball with the 6'9", bro.
I got
He pulled a Nick Saban. He pulled a Nick Saban. He said it's the depth chart. You just ain't gonna get it.
Micah with the 199 says Bama less than 3 penalties Saturday, buy or sell. You know, I could see more because it's first game.
Yes.
But that'll be an area of emphasis, Micah.
I'm gonna say less.
Love it.
I'm going
That's
with
a yes.
I think it's gonna be about 5. I see some physicality penalties happening. Guys have pent up anger.
Well,
I can see those.
Listen, we saved this last one for a reason, because speaking of someone with some physicality penalties and pent up anger, Matt, do we need to talk to the people about what your OnlyFans content has been looking like? You're got that pent up aggression over there.
Let's go.
Yeah, pent up aggression. My OnlyFans promo code is releasing tension this week. So.
Release the sink. Release and reroute.
Promo code Smash Mouth. But
get open.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show.
Up the gut.
Justin, whoa. Justin, you gotta send us off.
Move the balls.
Good luck, Justin.
Catch the ball.
Oh, man.
On the sticks.
You got to follow all that.
Splitting the uprights.
You can definitely find me my OnlyFans invading the neutral zone.
Oh, okay.
Encroachment.
Promo code Velvet Thunder.
Oh, that's better than Velvet Thumber. That doesn't sound right for an OnlyFans promo code. Velvet Thumber. That's
That's
some
the one that-
degeneracy.
I'm sorry. Some of these other names just kind of threw me for a loop, and it's just hard to bounce
Y'all got me
back.
started
I mean,
tonight.
there are some
Oh, wow.
legendary names being thrown out tonight. We're
Pick
definitely going to
six.
grant some awards.
We had a Bronco pick 6.
Pick 6. Like Chris Tucker on Rush Hour. Let me get that one. Oh yeah, and that one.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you
you too.
Goodness.
You too. That one too. Oh, her.
Oh my God.
But yeah, folks, we want to remind you, keep this channel blown up all season. We're going to release the best and greatest content related to Alabama and OnlyFans. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow night we do have a new show on this channel. It's called The Crimson Dynasty, hosted by Cici Payne, the first female-led Alabama-related podcast. Show up tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Show some support. She had 3.5 thousand viewers last week in our first show. Absolutely killed it. And Stephen M. Smith is pulling triple duty this week. He's going to be her guest tomorrow night. So definitely check out what they have going on. And also remind
Hydration.
everybody who's going to be in town for the first game, the Bama Standard, the flagship show, will be live at the Bryant Museum at 7 p.m. Show up and show out. Let's pack the place out. We're going to be there all weekend doing our thing. But, hey, if you want to be a top fan, we bring that back next week because we got to know from the fans what you felt about opening game. Email us, the Bama Standard at gmail.com. Follow us on all social media at the Bama Standard. We're on TikTok at _Bama Standard. But thanks to everybody in the chat for being the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Until next week, guys. Roll
Before
Tide.
we go, I got one question.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, do y'all want some? Planner, these nuts.
On that note,
I don't do no nuts. So I'm good.
I'm allergic.
And
Thanks, James.
the words of the Q Dogs, we out.
We can have